6 miles long. It's unique in that it is a figure of 8 configuration. They're into the famous snake now, this series of left and right bends, climbing up towards turn 7, a 150 mile an hour double left-hander. And then they approach the crossover. This is turn 7 that they're in now, into Degner, which is a double right-hander that Michael Schumacher is particularly good at. That's Degner 1. The second one leads into the lower section of the crossover. There's the track going over the top. Up now to the hairpin, which is about 40 miles an hour, but they approach it, of course, at about 150 miles an hour. Very slowly indeed. The line here is absolutely essential to get it right. Down towards the spoon now, another unique corner at Suzuka. A long, long left-hander that just keeps on going. Into it at about 110 miles an hour. Build up to 125. Back off again to 85 miles an hour. You'll see now why it's called the spoon. There it is. Literally spoon-shaped. Out of it, downhill. And then climb up at a massive speed to one of the most exciting corners in Formula One, the 130R. This is it. 190 miles an hour in race conditions.
Yes, and you can still see traces of the cement dust put down yesterday after Pedro Diniz toured around a lap, leaking fluids with his car more or less on fire, the whole of the back end of the car on fire by the time he got back to the pits, and even his suspension was melted. He came so far around the track with that problem, and there's quite a lot of debris on the outside of this racetrack. It's a high tyre wear situation, therefore you get a lot of marbles off the racing line, and it's certainly not a place to go here.
And let me remind you that the top non-Ferrari or McLaren driver is Jenson Button, 5th position in the Williams BMW, alongside his teammate Ralf Schumacher. So you look at Michael Schumacher, behind him as Mika Häkkinen jinks out to take up his position, David Coulthard. You're looking now, Schumacher, Ferrari, in the background, the McLaren of Mika Häkkinen. Behind them, David Coulthard and Rubens Barrichello. Behind them, Jenson Button, you can just see his Union flagged helmet in the background, and Ralf Schumacher. Is somebody going to make an unexpectedly good start, but in particular, can Michael Schumacher get it away?
Häkkinen's car not looking particularly healthy on the line there. Look, a lot of blue smoke coming out of the back. That could be just oil burning off of the exterior of the exhaust pipes, but that is definitely more than normal, Murray.
Yeah, watch for that then. 4 lights, 5 lights of the Japanese Grand Prix. He's go, and Michael Schumacher cuts straight across and drives Mika Häkkinen towards the wall. But Häkkinen's done it again. He's taken the lead, as he did last year and the year before. A terrible bit of news for Michael Schumacher. David Coulthard in 3rd position, and Rubens Barrichello has been swamped, including by Eddie Irvine's Jaguar, which started in 7th position. So Häkkinen, Schumacher, Coulthard, and up has come extremely well the Williams BMW, and it looks like Ralf Schumacher in 4th position. Totally unexpected. And Mika Häkkinen has got exactly the situation that he wanted on the first lap. Michael Schumacher has got exactly the situation he didn't want. Remember what James Allen told you about fuel strategies. This could have immediately changed the Ferrari fuel strategy if Michael Schumacher was starting on a light load.
So both Ferraris then, as expected, slow off the line. Michael tried to amend that by squeezing Mika Häkkinen. He would have nothing of it, just like he would have nothing of it back at the Hungarian Grand Prix either, and street through. But anyway, it's all calm. Michael is still in a 6-point scoring position. He can still win the championship if he finishes second to Häkkinen twice. So I don't think he'll be too distressed. He's got 4 wheels on his wagon and a whole race ahead of him, and I think he has the pace to at least stay with Häkkinen and maybe just an ounce more speed too.
And sure enough, Ralf Schumacher, a brilliant 4th place. Eddie Irvine up into 5th position. Rubens Barrichello down to 6th. Jenson Button, 52 laps to go. You can see them as Mika Häkkinen turns into the approach to the snake. Now, last year he pulled away and built up a comparatively rapidly 8 seconds lead over Michael Schumacher. It doesn't look to me as though he's doing that this year. Here it is again.
Yeah, so we got an overhead look. They got away perfectly, but it's just Mika just hooked up, got more grip, had to take to the yellow hatched zone, and there Barrichello getting squeezed totally out back into 6th place, so not working at all well for him. But Michael certainly activated the clutch at the right time, but just did not pick up speed. You'd have to suggest that the Ferrari is heavier on fuel, because he certainly got off the line quite well. But as we've seen so many times...
52 laps to go. You can see them as Mika Hakkinen turns into the approach to the snake. Now, last year he pulled away and built up a comparatively rapidly 8 seconds lead over Michael Schumacher. It doesn't look to me as though he's doing that this year. Here it is again.
Yeah, so we got an overhead look. They got away perfectly, but it's just Mika just hooked up, got more grip, had to take to the yellow hatched zone, and there Barrichello getting squeezed totally out back into 6th place, so not working at all well for him. But Michael certainly activated the clutch at the right time, but just did not pick up speed. You'd have to suggest that the Ferrari is heavier on fuel, because he certainly got off the line quite well. But as we've seen so many times this year, Hakkinen is able to build speed so quickly. Look, he kills the wheel spin immediately and just gets total forward motion, and that is the net result. He's leading the Grand Prix.
So quickly did he do that, that although Michael Schumacher moved across immediately to try and impede the McLaren, he totally failed to do so. Now, here they come out of the spoon, up towards the 130R, Hakkinen, Schumacher. Now, the gap between Hakkinen and Schumacher and Coulthard, who is in 3rd place, is already some 2 seconds. The first 2 are pulling away. Now, remember, we don't know anything about fuel strategies. We're expecting them to stop twice, in which case